Good morning, students. Assalamu alaikum. Hope all of you are doing well. I am also very fine and ready to take your class now. So join the class as early as possible, putting your name, roll number, section and ship in your comment section so that I will ensure your attendance properly. I hope all of you will join the class. This is the weekly class on science for your learning. Uh, I hope you studied chapter 1, the exercise, all the questions, creative question, short question of the exercise, and in and out of the chapter. Today I am going to continue chapter 2. Chapter 2, Cellular Organization of Plants and Animals. I have completed lesson 3 and 5. Now we will continue from lesson 6 to 7. So open your book, get ready with your book, open at page 16 of science textbooks, get ready with your notebook, exercise book and writing pen, and try to make comments in your comment section to make me inspired, to make me pleased and glad. Don't leave the class after giving attendance, okay? After putting your name, roll number, section like that. So don't give away. I request you to stay from first to last with my class, so that you will be able to understand anything. You will ask any question in my class, then I will try my best to answer the question again one by one to make the chapter very clear and fruitful. Okay. So follow your textbooks. Don't follow my textbooks. Follow your textbooks. Just listen to my words. Be attentive. Be audible to my lectures. And I think this is going to be completed. This chapter is going to be completed now, very soon. So today's lesson is lesson 6 to 7, characteristics and function of plant tissue. I am not welcoming you one by one because time is very short. Okay, that's why you have to think about shortcut to within a very short time. You have to finish the chapter. Characteristic and function of plant tissue. Page number 16. Do you know the tissue? What is the tissue? Tissue is a collection of cells. We know about cell, but tissue is a group of cells working together with similar, I mean, similar characteristic or similar, purpose or aim, as you know. Group of cell in a specific organ, in a specific or particular or certain part. Same cell, group of same cell, similar cell work together for similar purpose, that is called cell. So let's get started reading the topics. Lesson 6 to 7, characteristic and function of plant tissues. Body of an organism may be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means uh, only one cell, similar cell. Multicellular means different cell. Organism which are made of only one cell is called unicellular. Made of only one cell is called unicellular. All physiological activities, not physiological activities like nutrition, excretion, respiration, and reproduction are performed in one cell only. Organism with a number of cells are called multicellular organism. Tissues which make the body structure are classified on the other hand, so division of labor, if all cells would perform the same physiologic function at a time, irregularities and anarchy would prevail in a structural variation and physiological activities of the organism. So to ensure smooth life activities of organism, different types of cell form the groups to act unitedly. If a number of cells are more or less similar in size and shape with same origin, perform the same function, stay in groups are called tissue. Yes, this is the definition of tissue. If a number of cells are more or less similar in size and shape with same origin I mean produce or uh, produced from the same place, same origin, same organ, and perform the same function, same work, and stay in groups are called tissue. Groups of cell working together are called tissue. So here characteristic and function of plant tissues are plant tissues, reproduction, excretion, or physiological activities, biological activities, we also call it nutrition, excretion, respiration, reproduction in one cell only. Organization with number of cells are organisms with a number of cells are called multicellular organism. Tissues which make the body structure are classified on the other hand, so division of labor. If all cells would perform the same physiologic function at a time, irregularities, anarchy would prevail in a structural variation and physiologic activities of the same organism. To ensure a smooth life activities of organism, different types of cells form different groups to act unitedly. So I think it's clear to you now. Uh, Tissue, especially the plant tissue. There are also animal tissue. Function of plant tissue, characteristic of plant tissue. The topic is lesson 6 to 7. So firstly, you have to remember or learn the definition of tissue. If a number of cells are more or less similar in size, shape with same origin, perform the same function and stay in groups are called tissue. Animal tissues. Next, plant tissue. Plant and animal body are composed of different types of tissues. Different types of tissues perform different specific function. Depending on the capacity of cell division, tissues are classified into two types, such as meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Plant and animal body are composed of different types of tissues. Different types of tissues perform different specific function depending on the capacity of a cell division. Tissues are classified into two types such as meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Cell division. By the help of cell division, animals and plants grow from baby stage to adult stage because of division of cell division. So every animals and plant has the capacity to divide their cells normally or properly. So depending on the capacity of cell division, depending on the growth of the cell, the tissues are classified or divided into two types. First one is meristematic tissue and second one is uh, permanent tissue. So what is meristematic tissues? Tissues whose cells have the ability to divide are called meristematic tissues. They are found in developing regions of the plant, especially at the apical regions of stem and root. Apical region mean at the topmost uh, part of the stem and roots. That mean highest place, higher position. Though tissues which have the ability to divide are called meristematic tissues. They are found. Where they are found? They are found in developing regions of the plant. চূড়ায় মানে গাছের চারার অথবা এই যে কচি ডগা বলে কচি যেটা টপ অ্যাপিক্যাল বার্ড বলে এটা অ্যাপিক্যাল টপ অফ দ্য প্ল্যান্ট মানে চারার এই কাণ্ডের সব মানে কাণ্ডের উপরে সবচেয়ে উপরে especially at the apical regions of the stem and root, they are found meristematic tissues. That means these tissues grow, help the plants and animal grow to become uh, bigger or higher, right? What's the function of meristematic tissues? Meristematic tissue gives rise to new cells and tissues due to continuous division. Yes, continuous. This division is continuous. Division of cells are continuous. It increases the height and girth of plants. Yes, height and girth of plants. Meristematic tissues form new tissues. Other tissues are formed by meristematic tissues. Permanent tissues, mature tissues originating from meristematic tissues having the definite shape and incapable of dividing are called permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are found in almost every part of plants. So, what are permanent tissues? Mature tissues, adult tissues originating from meristematic tissues after growing again and again. At a stage, there is a limit of growing, limit of division. So, the mature tissues originating from meristematic tissues having definite shape, incapable of dividing, and no more division. That means adult, very old, matured are called permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are found in almost every part of plants. Function, production and transport of food. They produce and transfer food from one place to another, one organ to another, from root to shoot, from root to leaves, like that. Construct the body and strengthen the plant. Construct the body. Construct the body properly or perfectly and strengthen the plant. And the plant make rigid, hard and straight, like that. Strong enough. This is the function of permanent tissue. You see the figure of permanent tissue here is very thick, permanent tissue, very thick, matured. And meristematic tissue is very growing, very young and fresh. They are found in the young plants, young animals like that, right? Next, lesson 8 to 10, characteristic and functions of animal tissue. How do we walk and move? Mark. How we eat and how we breathe. These activities are separate and of different nature. We walk with foot, write with hand, eat with mouth, chew with the help of teeth. These activities are done by different organs. A structure and function of cell and tissues are different in these organs. Bones, muscles, and brain, etc., are constituted with many cells whose structure and function are different in nature. In multicellular animals, when a number of cells unite to form a group and perform a certain work are called tissues. Animal aims of these cells may be the same, but their shape, size, and structure may vary. It depends on nature of work of the cell and tissue. Animal bodies are made of different types of tissues such as epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, nervous tissues. You know, in the previous lesson 6 to 7, the plant tissues are divided into meristematic tissues and permanent tissues, and their function we have learned already. So in case of animal tissues, the animal bodies are made of different types of tissues. They are epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, nervous tissues. They are situated in different parts of the body, in different organs of the body. And where they are situated, we are going to learn here. Epithelial tissues, tissues that make the open areas of the body covered and makes up the internal covering is called epithelial tissues. External layer of our skin, internal layer of our cheek are made of epithelial tissue. Different glands of the body are also made of epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissues are found tissues that makes the open areas of the body cover. I mean, outer covering of our body is the epithelial tissues, makes up the internal covering is called epithelial tissue. External layer of our skin, external covering, and internal layer of our cheek mean গালের ভিতরের যে লেয়ারটা স্তরটা সেটা epithelial tissue দিয়ে তৈরি. Different glands of the body are also made of epithelial tissue. Glands of the body, different organs of the body. Characteristic of epithelial tissues are arranged in one or more strata, one or more layer. Cells are arranged on a thin foundation membrane. This type of tissues do not have any intercellular matrix. These three are the function of epithelial tissue. Function: these tissues protect the characteristics. These 3 points. And function are: the tissues protect the internal and external organs from injury. Stomach and intestinal epithelial tissues secrete gastric juice. Yes, inside the stomach, it secrete gastric juice. There's produces gastric juice by uh, epithelial tissues. Next, B, muscular tissue. We can move few muscles on our will, such as muscles of hands and legs, but there are muscles which we cannot move at our will. This type of muscle move voluntarily at their will, such as muscles of stomach. From the discussion, we learned that muscles are of two types. So muscular tissue, some muscular tissue we can move with our will, such as muscles of hands and legs. আমাদের ইচ্ছা অনুযায়ী আমরা নাড়াচাড়া করতে পারি, but there are muscle which cannot move at our will. আমাদের ইচ্ছা অনুযায়ী, আমাদের ইচ্ছাকৃতভাবে আমরা মাসলগুলো নাড়াচাড়া করতে পারি না. This type of muscles move voluntarily at their voluntarily, I mean automatically at their will they move, such as muscles of stomach. Stomach মানে পাকস্থলীর মাসলগুলো, পেশিগুলো আর কি. From the discussion we learned that muscles of two types, that is voluntary and involuntary. Voluntary muscles we cannot control them. Involuntary we can control or we move it with our will, but involuntary we cannot move at our will. Voluntary muscles, when we bend our elbow, muscles of the upper arm contracts and draw lower arm and make it bend. Muscles that we can contract and expand at our will, make our organs move, are called voluntary muscles. Yes, some of the number of voluntary muscles in human body is more. These muscles stick to the bone and help to move the organ. Number of voluntary muscles in a body is more. These muscles stick to the bone, help to move the organ. Involuntary muscles, the responsibilities of the intestinal muscle is to transport of food stuff in digestive tract. We do not have any control on these types of muscles. আমাদের কোনো নিয়ন্ত্রণ নেই. These muscles are automatically work inside the digestive tract, inside the stomach. It means that muscles that do not contract at our will are called involuntary muscles. We cannot control, but muscles that do not contract at our will are called involuntary. They work independently without our control. Cardiac muscles are another category of specialized involuntary muscles. These muscles supply blood to the whole body by alternate contraction and relaxation in a self-controlled rhythm. Only heart is constituted with this type of muscle. Yes, our heart pumps in and pumps out the blood with its will, not by our will. Function of, there is a beat, I mean heartbeat, function of muscles. Muscles give shape of the body, help in bone movement, help in movements and locomotion. It protects internal organs. Heart muscles help in blood circulation in the body. This is the function of muscles. So here is a work, tasks inside the box. Sit down on a table in such a way that the legs remain in hanging position. Straighten one leg and then bend. Which muscles take part in this movement? Try to feel by touching with your hand. Present before the class what you have understood. When you lie in a certain position in your bed, in your bench or table, and straighten, lay down your leg, then bend. Which muscle take part in this movement? These movements, I think, voluntary muscles. Next, lesson 11, connective tissues. Connective tissues. The connective tissue establishes connection among different tissues and organs. These tissues are mainly solid, liquid, or fatty. Blood, bone, cartilage, and fatty tissues are the example of connective tissues. Function of connective tissues. Main constituent of bone is calcium. Bones give a structure, bear the weight, and give mechanical support to the body. Tendons attach muscles with the bones. Fatty tissues store wells and fats, and fibrous connective tissues help contraction and expansion of walls of lung and blood vessel. Cartilage are softer than bones and can bear more pressure and stretch, such as cartilage of nose and ear. Blood carries various substances, oxygen, food, excretory substances from one part to another in the body. Besides, blood gives resistance against germ. Blood is a liquid connective tissue. So blood is a liquid connective tissue. This is the connective tissue connecting different tissues, different organs of the body. That's why it is called connective, because blood is flowed flows all over the body from, in the different organs of the body. Nerve tissues, tissues of, what is nerve? Snayu. In Bangla, we call it snayu. Tissues of an organism that one responding to stimuli can create appropriate sensation are called nerve tissues. Neuron is the unit of nerve tissues. Neuron is the unit of nerve tissue. Brain is constituted with nervous neuron. Every neuron is composed of the three parts such as cell body, dendron, and axon. Function of nerve tissues: receive impulse from different sense organs of the body and send impulse to the brain. Active parts of the body respond to stimuli such as when a mosquito bites. This stimulus is sent to the brain. The brain informs the hand and the hand tries to kill the mosquito. You know, when mosquito or fly bites you, then you know it immediately. Why? Because of sensitivity, because of sense. You have sense. We have five senses, like uh, we can hear, we can see, we can feel, like that. So this is because of nerve tissues, right? I mean, having pain, feeling painful, feeling very hard, getting hurt. This type of feeling or sensitivity is because of nerve tissues, right? So nervous system, nerve is related with the brain, with the head of our. So neuron is the unit of nerve tissues. Task is, here is a task inside the box. Close your eyes. Can you see anything? Close your ears with your palms. Can you hear anything? How can you remember as you read? Which tissues help to perform all these activities? Draw one cell of this tissue and label its different parts. That is a single neuron. Nerve tissues. So unit of neuron is the unit of nerve tissue. Here is a figure, a single neuron. There is then dendron, cell body, axon. Divided into three parts here. So what we have learned from this chapter: a structure and functional unit of body is cell. Scientific Robert Hooke is the first person who discovered cell. Total living contain of a cell in protoplasm. Living organelles within cytoplasm are nucleus, plastid, mitochondria, Golgi body, centriole, etc. Plastids are of three kinds such as chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. Mitochondria are called the powerhouse because energy produced in respiration is stored in mitochondria. Having same origin with cells of different size perform the same function in a group is called a tissue. Is a definition of tissue. Tissues are of mainly of two kinds: meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Permanent tissue originate from meristematic tissues. Tissues that continuously divide and produce new tissues are called meristematic tissue. The tissues we shall have different shape, loss dividing power originate from meristematic tissues are called permanent tissue. Cardiac muscle is a special kind of involuntary muscle. Blood is a kind of connective tissue. So time is over. This is all about today. So you learn or practice exercise, fill in the blank here. Tissues are unable to divide, plant try to fill in the gaps of exercise. 1 to fill in the gaps, 1 to 5. And also short question: describe the function of muscle, write down the characteristic of epithelial tissues, describe the structure of nucleus, mention the function of plastid, describe the structure of a mitochondria. And also multiple choice question here, except creative question. Creative, only one creative question, two creative question are there for your SW. Homework, short question, all short question, 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Remember 1 to 5 short question and also fill in the blank. These two tasks, lesson are for your homework. Try to uh, complete this and submit in the comment section. Okay, thank you for joining the class, watching my video, listening to my lecture very carefully, and hope to see you all again in the next class. Best of luck. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Goodbye.